Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today it's going to be a look that you can sport to a festival. I'm going to be using two different foundations by EX1 Cosmetics, and these are specifically designed for olive skin tones. And to apply it, I'm using my 3D HD Kabuki brush by Sigma. So this foundation is available in 5 different shades. On the website they give you MAC equivalents, so the lightest shade would be NC25 and the darkest shade would be NC45. Here I'm applying F200, which is the second from the lightest shade, which is the equivalent of NC30 to NC35. It's a lightweight sheer formulation, and straight off I would say it gives you a medium coverage, and it's definitely buildable to full coverage. With a lot of full coverage foundations like the MAC Studio Fix and the Illamasqua Skin Base, it's very noticeable on the skin unless you use the tiniest amount and really work it in, but again I still think they are quite a drying formula. Whereas this isn't like that at all. It's really lightweight and it really doesn't look like you're wearing foundation, you just have a really nice flawless base. As always, I will link in the description bar where you can buy this. You can get it in Topshops in London and Harvey Nichols. Next I'm taking the MAC 130 Short Duo Fibre Brush. I'm using the F400 foundation shade, which is equivalent to NC42, and I'm using that just to go around the circumference of my face. This is going to add some warmth and also make sure that my face doesn't look too flat and one tone. I'm taking this colour through the hollows of my cheeks but also onto my cheekbone where the sun would hit, around my temple area and around the circumference of my forehead. I don't want to add any extra texture to the face, that's why I've chosen to use the same foundation but in a slightly darker shade. If I chose to use a concealer, it might be slightly thicker and be more noticeable. I've taken a small amount down the sides of my nose just to bring a bit of warmth and dimension to the centre of my face. I'm starting off by using this Sigma eyeshadow base in the colour Neutralise, and this does have a really subtle sheen to it. I'm using my ring finger to apply that to the mobile eyelid and just up to the socket. For the eyeshadow, I've chosen to use the Pure Exposed palette by Crown Brush. I'm going to start off by using shade 16, which is like a very shimmery peachy pink shade. I'm going to press that over the mobile eyelid up to the socket line using my MAC 239 flat shader brush. This look isn't going to be about the eyeshadow, we want something subtle on there because it's going to be about the eyeliner. Next I'm using shade 15, which is a satin powder pink colour, and I'm using my Sigma E30 pencil brush to apply this. We're going in on the inner corners of the eyes and we're going to layer this a couple of times to build up a nice subtle highlight. Also going to add a small amount of that just underneath the arch of the eyebrow. Next I'm taking shade 17, which is like a matte taupe colour. I'm using the Sigma FX7 brush to apply this. We're using this colour as a base and a guide as to where the next colour is going to go, pulling this out on the outer corner in an elongated triangular shape. The idea is to get smaller as you get towards your temple area. Using a MAC 217 fluffy blending brush, we're going to work that over the top. We want to diffuse this colour so it's nice and subtle and it just leaves us with a bit of a shadow. We only want this as a base, so when we apply shimmer over it, it's got a little bit of depth to it. We're going in with shade 18, which is a very shimmery bronze colour, and we're using the same Sigma FX7 brush to apply it. All we're going to do is trace along the area that we've applied the taupe colour. And then we're going back in with our 217 brush just to diffuse it again. Creating this elongated triangular shape to our eyes is going to give us a subtle lift to the outer corner. You needed the base colour underneath, otherwise the shimmer would have just reflected and it wouldn't have given that shadow appearance. For eyeliner, I'm going to be using a combination of these 3 by LimeCrime. I'm going to start off by lining the inner corner of the top lid using Blue Milk, and I'm taking that halfway across. I'm then going in with a darker blue shade called Lazuli. I'm going to overlap the edge and then continue to line the top lid to the outer corner. Going in with a dry eyeliner brush, I'm just going to feather over the seam and it's going to blend the two colours together. Going back to Lazuli, I'm going to wing out the outer corner. Now don't be shy about winging it out quite far, we want this to be nice and extravagant. I'm then taking the black liquid liner called Quill and I'm lining along the top lash line directly below the blue line. On the tail of the wing I'm going to fill that in with the black. Then as we come back down the wing onto the lid, we want to make sure we're lining along the top half of the blue line. Going back in with the blue liner, we're going to reline over the blue that we've already applied and fade that into the tail. And then using the dry liner brush, we're just going to fade the black and blue together, and this is going to give us a really nice gradient. Going back to the black, we're going to line very close to the lash line underneath Blue Milk and meet up where we've already lined the top lid on the outer corner. Going back to Blue Milk, we're going to create a V shape on the inner corner of the eye. This wants to be thick enough that you can apply the darker blue in the centre of this. And take that down past the tear duct area. Taking that darker blue, we want to overlap with blue milk again. And then going back in with our dry eyeliner brush, we want to blend the seam of those together. It's best to do this in stages. So we're going back in with our blue milk and lining a little bit further along, and then going back in with our darker blue and lining just above that. Use the tip of your brush to line the inner corner of your tear duct, and then feather the bristles across, just blending the darker blue into the lighter blue. We're going to continue to line underneath our lower lashes all the way across to the outer corner, and then swap to the black liner. Once again, overlap the corner of the dark blue, and then as you line underneath your lower lashes, you want to wing that out parallel to our top wing. Then go back in with your blue liner and just fade that over the black, and this will create a nice gradient. I'm taking this cream liner by Zoeva called After Hours, and it's a dark teal blue, and we're going to run that along the waterline. You can always go for something quite bright in the waterline, but I wanted to add in something that was similar to the colours that we're already using. So for the last part of the eyeliner, I'm going back in with the darker blue, and I'm creating a sharp crisp point on the inner corner, taking care not to overlap the lighter blue. For mascara, I'm going to use my Manuel The Everything mascara, and this really is my favourite at the moment. I just love the wand so much. Also, it's summer here at the moment, and this mascara doesn't melt. For eyebrows, I'm keeping them super natural. I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in medium brown, and I'm using a super light hand to fill in just the very top of my brow where it's more sparse, and the tail of my brow. Again, keeping it very natural. If you wear your brows fuller every single day, then you go ahead and do exactly what you would do with your brows. I forgot, this is the last part of the eyeliner. I added in a little bit of the blue milk between the two flicks at the end. The lashes I chose to use, which I applied off camera, are MakeUp by Velour. I'm using this peachy coral baked blush by Milani in Luminoso, and to apply that I'm using my Zoeva 126 Luxe cheek brush. Using an orangey coral based blush is really going to pop against the blues that we've got on our eyes. I'm not going to apply any contour to the face as we've already added some warmth around the circumference. The lipstick I've chosen to use is by MAC, and this one is Coral Bliss. If you want a colour with a slight more punch to it, try Flamingo. Taking my highlighter by TheBalm and my MAC 132 Duo Fibre brush, I'm applying this in circular motions to the top of the cheekbones. I'm using my finger to apply some of this to the cupid's bow of my top lip. I'm also using my finger to apply a small amount of that to the tip of my nose. And lastly, a small amount just above the brow bone on both sides. And this will give us the perfect summery glow for any festival or carnival. Hey everyone, so I really hope you enjoyed my festival inspired makeup look. It's nice and summery, and the eyeliner is the most striking part about the makeup look. I like it all to be about the eyes and something soft on the lips. You could even go for a nice bright orangey lip because orange complements blue on the colour wheel. So you will get a very striking look if you go for a nice orange lip with this. Now it can take a little bit of patience when doing eyeliner, so do take your time with it and get very close to the mirror. If you're using a liquid liner, try not to look up because you may print it on your top lid and you don't want that because that will be a disaster. If you do have hooded eyes, this might not be a great one for you. It depends on how hooded your eyes are. If you want to get that nice gradient between the colours of the blues, or if you use different colours, then maybe have practice on your hand first and see how you are at blending the two seams together where the colours meet. You'll probably find if you practice it first on your hand, you'll do a better job when it comes to doing it on your eyes. I got this little headband from Claire's Accessories in the UK about 2 years ago, I think, from when I went to a festival. But go check out their store because they always do different kind of headbands for festivals. So thank you to all of you for watching the tutorial. Please give it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you've missed my previous tutorials, you can click on these now and it will take you to those. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and the links to those will be in the description bar below. Then you can see what I get up to in my daily life as a makeup artist and in general. Thank you for watching.